war and prayer, two things we think bring out humanity's best qualities. But what if they reveal our darkest contradictions? Mark Twain's The War Prayer exposes this in a way that still haunts readers over a century later.
That's such a powerful observation about this piece. The way he captures that festive wartime atmosphere at the start draws you in.
You know what's fascinating about the context? Twain wrote this during the Philippine American War when he was vice president of the Anti Imperialist League. He refused to publish it during his lifetime, saying people weren't ready for its message.
Well, that's interesting timing. So he was actively fighting against American imperialism while writing this?
Exactly. And the way he structures this piece is brilliant, starting with these young soldiers parading down streets, flags everywhere, drums beating. It's like he's showing us how seductive war fever can be.
The detail about silencing those few who question the war, that feels particularly relevant today, doesn't it?
Oh man, exactly. And you know what makes it even more powerful? He sets this whole thing in a church using this sacred setting to expose something deeply unsacred. The way he describes these young volunteers sitting there, faces alight with martial dreams. It's heartbreaking when you know what's coming. That contrast between their romantic visions of glory and what the stranger later reveals is devastating. Speaking of the stranger, what a masterful piece of writing that entrance is. This mysterious figure with white hair like a frothy cataract moving silently up the aisle, but it's what he says that hits home.
Hmm. The way he translates their prayer for victory into its real world consequences is pretty unforgettable.
Right? He takes each sanitized wish and shows its brutal reality. When they pray for victory, they're praying to tear their soldiers to bloody shreds with our shells, to cover their smiling fields with the pale forms of their patriot dead.
And that image of children wandering in winter, their bloody feet staining the snow, that's the kind of detail that stays with you.
You know what's striking? The way he frames all this destruction as being done for our sakes who adore thee. He's showing how religion gets twisted to justify warfare, how we convince ourselves God is on our side while praying for horrific things.
The irony of ending that terrible prayer with, in the spirit of love, really drives that point home.
And here's what's wild, we're still doing this today. We've just updated our vocabulary. Instead of glorious victory, we talk about surgical strikes. Instead of crushing the foe, we discuss neutralizing threats.
So we're still using the same psychological tricks to distance ourselves from the reality of war.
Exactly. And social media has added a whole new dimension. Now we can share our support for wars with hashtags and profile picture filters, all while keeping the actual horror at a comfortable distance. It's like we've digitized the same behavior Twain was writing about.
Well, that's a fascinating point about digital age patriotism. We're still creating that same kind of communal pressure, just on a global scale now.
And you know what gets me? That final line about dismissing the stranger as a lunatic because there was no sense in what he said. It's like Twain understood how we reject truths that make us uncomfortable.
The fact that he felt this was too honest for his time, and it still feels too honest for our time. That says something pretty profound about human nature.
It does. And maybe that's the ultimate power of the war prayer. It's not just an anti war piece, it's a mirror held up to human nature itself. It shows us how good people, moral people, can convince themselves to pray for terrible things, all while believing they're in the right.